finally felt real. And they had been working on the story for months already.
But you didn't even know it was in the documents, really.
No, I had no idea. No idea. But they seemed to think that it was extremely valuable. And I knew that they knew what they were doing.
A year later, Pulitzer Prize, the story breaks, and it describes a few things. That Donald Trump's dad was far wealthier than people knew, far wealthier than you and your lawyers knew when the will was being fought over. That Donald Trump was far less wealthy than people knew but for his grandfather, and also raised the question that perhaps some of it was done in a way that could constitute tax fraud. What about that surprised you?
Honestly, none of that surprised me. What did surprise me was the lengths they allegedly went to. The formation of All County, which from what I understand was simply a shell corporation designed to siphon money away from my grandfather's very valuable and successful company, so that that money could sort of be disappeared, and the money left to pay taxes on was significantly less. So that amazed me.
Part of the reason you didn't put up a bigger fight when the will was being disputed was that your lawyer believed that the entire Fred Trump estate was $30 million.
Right.
What was it?
It was almost $1 billion. So 970 million more.
Were you surprised at how little political impact those revelations seemed to have?
I was. A lot of people were rightly effusive and grateful for the brilliant work and the startling revelations that should have mattered. But how many times have we seen this play out? And this is one thing that I grapple with trying to understand. For most of us, our mistakes are cumulative. Our transgressions are cumulative. So when there's a reckoning, the sum total of what we've done is taken into account. That does not seem to exist in Donald's universe. It's this horrible thing happens, and then this horrible thing happens, so we forget about the first horrible thing. So they just replace each other.
But for you, the political had become personal, the personal had become political.
Yes.
You write, I had to take Donald down.
Yes. Maybe a bit of an overstatement there, in the sense that I didn't ever think that there was any one thing I or anybody else could do. But certainly in that moment that I'm describing, I felt that I needed to do anything I could, not just to stop this, but also to make up for the fact that I hadn't done anything in the past. That weighed on me, even though I knew that it probably wouldn't have made a difference. If this almost 14,000 word article didn't have the kind of impact it should have had by all rights, then nothing I would have said necessarily would have mattered. But I definitely felt the responsibility of needing to do something.
What do you want to happen now?
This country is on a precipice, and we have a decision to make in the not too distant future about who we want to be and where we want to go as a country. It's hard for me to process just how many awful things are going on simultaneously on a daily basis. And people need to know. People need as much information as is available in order to make a decision that makes sense for our future as a country, as Americans, as citizens of the world, so to speak.
The New York Times review of your book concludes saying it's been written from pain and designed to hurt. Fair critique?
No. Written from pain, absolutely. Hurting wasn't it wasn't a goal. It wasn't an intention. If telling the truth, if telling the stories as I remember them, as they were told to me, causes pain, then the people who participated in them need to look to themselves.
April 2017, I'm going to end where I began.
Sure.
You see the president in the Oval Office, and you tell him, don't let them get you down. Did you mean that?
I did, actually. That was 4 months in. He already seemed very strained by the pressures. You know, he'd never been in a situation before where he wasn't entirely protected from criticism or accountability or things like that. And I just remember thinking, he seems tired. He seems like this is not what he signed up for, if he even knows what he signed up for. And I thought his response was actually more enlightening than my statement. And he said, they won't get me. And so far, looks like he's right.
And if you're in the Oval Office today, what would you say to him?
Resign.
Resign.
Yes, resign.
Thank you.